The Opportunity Starts at Home campaign is about broadening the affordable housing movement to many other sectors. Housing is a foundation for opportunity and touches every aspect of life. It impacts education, healthcare, and many other sectors. Okay, but how exactly does housing policy touch every other aspect of life? Well, let's just take one specific example, housing choice vouchers. Quick background. Housing choice vouchers are sometimes called Section 8 vouchers, started by Congress in 1974. Low-income families can apply for a voucher. If they get it, they can use it to rent an apartment in the private market. Tenants pay 30% of their income toward the rent, and the voucher covers the rest of the rent up to a certain amount. Okay, so how does this particular housing policy impact other areas of life? Well, for starters, a voucher ensures you pay no more than 30% of your income on housing. You shouldn't be paying more than 30%, but the vast majority of extremely low-income renters are forced to spend more than half of their income on rent and utilities. So when you have a voucher, you not only can afford your home, you have more income to spend on transportation, nutritious food, healthcare, and retirement and savings. So if you're a transportation advocate, an anti-hunger advocate, or a health advocate, you should be an affordable housing advocate too. Speaking of healthcare, a lack of affordable housing is linked with negative health outcomes across the lifespan, such as higher risks of child hospitalizations and poor adult mental health, such as depression and anxiety. The U.S. will spend $111 billion in avoidable health-related costs over the next 10 years because of housing instability. Healthcare advocates are housing advocates. Maybe you're in education. You may be wondering, how exactly does a housing voucher impact student learning in the classroom? Poor children in affordable housing do better on tests than those in unaffordable housing, partly because their parents can invest more in activities and materials that support learning. A voucher frees up income. We know that children who switch schools frequently due to housing instability perform less well in school and are less likely to graduate from high school. A voucher removes that instability. Data show vouchers sharply reduce homelessness and instability among families with kids. Vouchers also enable poor families to move to better neighborhoods. Researchers found that poor younger children whose families used a voucher to move to a better neighborhood did much better when they grew up. 31% higher annual incomes, increased lifetime earnings by $302,000, 32% more likely to attend college, and girls were 26% less likely to become single mothers. When poor families can use a voucher throughout a city, it promotes more economically diverse neighborhoods, which can lead to diverse neighborhood schools. We know that economically diverse schools are 22 times more likely to be high performing as high poverty schools. Vouchers can help reduce housing segregation by enabling poor families to move out of concentrated poverty and to afford neighborhoods that they otherwise couldn't if they so choose. A recent Urban Institute study showed that if the Chicago region could reduce its housing segregation just to the national average, incomes for African Americans would increase by almost $3,000 per person per year. Regional GDP would increase by $8 billion. There'd be a 30% drop in the homicide rate, and 83,000 more adults would earn a bachelor's degree. So if you're an advocate for civil rights, racial equity, economic growth, or anti-crime, you are housing advocates too, and vouchers should be in your toolkit to help you achieve your goals. That's how one specific housing policy, vouchers, can impact so many other areas. To learn more, check out our website at opportunityhome.org.